Kevin Bacon, though.
It's Kevin Bacon. Hey.
Good morning.
Hey, welcome to the Toolshed. Brought to you by Schedule Engine. We're so happy that you joined us today. Today's episode is Taxi Driver Wisdom, and it's sponsored by our friends at Emerson.
Woo! That was a mouthful. You did well. You got it.
Good morning. Hey, thanks for joining us today. We're so happy that you joined us. Today's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to give us some stuff away.
Fun to get through.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good. It's good.
I'm excited.
So, do you know what taxi driver wisdom thing? You know?
I do not know about the taxi driver wisdom, but I have heard like a few funny things from taxi drivers.
Yeah, like it's exactly that. So it's just think of it as like it's everyday philosophy for the common person, and so like things like, yep, new shoes are gonna hurt. It's like, yeah, I guess that's true.
Kind of like this feels like deja vu all over again.
Right. Can't unring a bell. It's stuff that you know is true, and sort of like when you think about it, applies widely. And today's taxi driver wisdom is, we don't see the world as it is. We see it as we are, and as technicians and people that work with people all the time. That whole thing we're going to unpack. It goes for us, but guess what? That goes for our customers and pretty much everyone we come in contact with every day. So it's good to get that figured out. And we're going to unpack that. So we got a ton of stuff to go through.
Ton of stuff to go through. That's awesome.
Busy day at the tool shed.
Hey, today it's the end of week 3, and we're super excited that we've had all of y'all join us for 3 weeks now, and next week's going to be really good too.
A lot of stuff.
Today, let's get into the giveaway. What are we going to give away today?
Cool. Well, this morning, can I say I'm jealous? I can say that, right? I'm pretty jealous because this is a Vito Pro Pack. It's sort of like if tool bags grew up and became the cool kid at school. That's what this is. You take this bag into a job and it diagnoses the call for it. It doesn't. We should probably have a legal disclaimer. It doesn't do that, but it's very cool, and we're going to give it away. Yesterday, the team picked Adam Blau to win the rigid tubing cutter. So here's what we want you to do. Pick 2 people on your team that aren't in the tool shed, because this is a big prize. It's a big prize.
It is a big prize.
We're at 449. We need like one more person, and my OCD will be satisfied. Pick 2 people to join the Facebook group, tag them, and then we'll pick somebody. Like, that's a really good chance of winning that. Like, that's pretty good odds.
Yeah, if I were you, I would tag like 4 or 5 people personally. Like, I would try to increase my odds a little bit.
Vegas Jerry in the house. I like it. All right, so hey, speaking of in the house, huge Toolshed welcome to our good friends Clay's Climate Control up in Linwood, New Jersey. Long-time Schedule Engine friends and clients. They've used them for years. Jen and Clay up there do an incredible job. They were the Air Conditioning Contractors of America winner, like literally the whole country. So you know they're running a great organization. And I heard Damien just joined their team. Damien, I hear you're tearing it up. Keep up the good work, my man, and welcome to the team. So we're glad they're here. We got all kinds of people joining us.
That's cool. Hey, in the South, we would say they're good people.
Oh, they are good people.
Jen and Clay, they're good people.
They're just good people.
Yeah.
I won't tell you what we say in Scotland.
Okay.
It's probably not fit. All right. Hey, speaking of fit, let's talk safety, because it's one of the things we care about here at the Tool Shed. Our friend, HVAC Reefer Guy, find him on Instagram and Facebook and follow him. He's filled with knowledge. He was actually on the road yesterday, and he gave us live from the field a safety report. So let's roll the tape.
I am in Yuma, Arizona, and today is Crane Day. I love Crane Day, but you know, Crane Day can be really stressful. And if you're a new employee to the trade or new employee to HVAC or apprentice out of trade school, trying to figure out what to do on Crane Day could really cause some serious injuries. So if you're unsure, like the guys are back here, they're unloading some equipment, they're getting ready for rigging, the crane is getting set up, he's putting his outriggers out, he's trying to figure out where his load, best place to pick the load. But if you're unsure, go to your supervisor, go to your service manager, go to the project manager and say, I'm unsure what to do. What would you like me to do today? Where would you like me to be? Because the crane has stabilizers, there's spots for injury, serious injury, and we don't want that to happen. So if you're unsure on Crane Day, just go to the project manager, your supervisor, and say, what would you like me to do? Of course, work safe, be good humans, We'll see you next time.
Work safe, and be good humans. I think that sums it up. And in the dictionary, under HVAC guy, there's a picture of Mike. That was awesome. He's out there keeping everybody safe. And he brings up a good point, Jerry. Like, if you don't know something,
you better ask.
You better ask. And he's talking about cranes. It could be like if you're working around torches, or if you're on a rooftop, or if you're helping someone carry a water heater, or we saw the pictures yesterday of a boiler. Communication is so important. We can't guess, and that's kind of what we're talking about today, right? What's your story for us today?
Yeah, so we don't want to guess, but listen, safety is really important. Like, we care about you as a technician, but we care about you as an employee, but we really care about you as a person. So safety really is important.
Family cares. Yeah.
Hey, here's like a little exercise you can do if you're in the tool shed with us, and we did this morning with a group of people, but hey, if you're in a service meeting or you're standing around and chatting with some technicians, here's a good little exercise you can do. And so just imagine for a moment that your service manager got up in front of the class and said, hey, today I'm going to give away some gifts. And what I'm going to give away is I'm going to give $500 to you, and I'm going to give $500 to you, and I'm going to give $500 to you. I sound like Oprah.
I was going to say, check under your chair.
I know, but hey, if we gave everybody if we gave everybody $500, the question is, what would you do with your $500?
Yeah.
And it's a free gift.
Nobody knows about it.
Nobody knows about it. You don't have to share it. It's cash money. What would you do with your $500? What would you do with your $500? What would you do? And we went around and asked some people this morning, and the funny thing is, everybody says something different.
Always. I would do a lovely evening with my wife, kids. Probably a nice meal. I love a nice meal. Maybe even a night away somewhere. Spend some time with the family, and burn
Earlier, somebody said, well, I'd buy some parts for my motorcycle.
Usually. Somebody
Somebody else said, hey, I would buy a new drone. I personally would buy a new golf club. Like, I need a new driver.
Will that help your game?
My game needs it. And they're expensive, right? But the point is this. Every homeowner values their money differently. Wow. So when we go into someone's home and we don't offer them a bunch of different solutions to their problem, or we just offer them one thing because we don't think they can afford it, or and this is a big one, we blow through that call because it doesn't look very good, and we collect the diagnostic and we roll on out to the next house.
No one in the tool shed has ever done that.
And we don't help that customer.
Oh, wow. That's so important. Like, what you're saying is, like, we really don't know what customers value. And, just like Reaper guy was saying, unless we ask.
Maybe they value peace of mind. Maybe they value a small monthly payment. Maybe they value fresh air and
maybe this is their forever home and they're staying and they want nothing but the best. Maybe they're moving in 2 months. You just never know, right?
You just never know.
So here's the thing. If we can get, we're not going to practice this one today, but we can get real talk in the tool shed for a minute. I think this one thing, more than perhaps many other things in the role of home services, is the hardest, because we're dealing with people and we're dealing with experiences, and we pick up stuff on every single call we run. This one thing and getting this headspace right is probably the hardest thing. And I'll just be honest. This took me at least I think it was about 3 years as a technician to really nail. I was good sometimes, but to be consistent took me a while. And I remember the exact time it was. I love training. That's what the tool shed's about. And I was sent to what was sales training. And I'll be honest, I kind of thought that it was a little aggressive. And I'm standing there. And, there's always one cat in the training class that sort of helps think that they're running the class, and they think they're like a comedian. And it's that joke, if you think you're funny, you're probably not, right? If you don't know, right? And so he was that guy. And I'll be honest, I was kind of sort of, I was kind of looking down on him a little bit. And so we took a break, and a bunch of us were drinking coffee, and I was like, yeah, this is good, but you can't do this with everyone. You got to pick and choose. And the Hawaiian shirt dude, he was wearing a Hawaiian shirt every day. He looks at me and he says, "Who do you think you are?" And I was shocked. It went quiet. And I was like, "Come again?" And he goes, "Who do you think you are to decide who gets the good stuff and who gets the bad?" And standing here today, 15 years later, I still remember that feeling, and I realized I had been cheating some customers by, like, yeah, sure, it came from a good place. I was trying to protect people, but what am I doing? What do I know about their life, right? And that was the day that I decided I share solutions, customers choose. And you know what? That's just, I don't know how else to do that anymore. And that was the day, like, I had to decide on every call. And so there's a bit of a process for this because it is tough. And sometimes we get yelled at, sometimes we get cookies. And so having a good mental process, like to be consistent on every call, what do you say about the reset button?
Well, you got to have a reset button, but what we're really saying is, that house. We've all been to that house where you go into the neighborhood, and maybe it's not the best neighborhood, but you go into a neighborhood and you see that house down the street.
Oh boy.
And that house down the street, the grass is high and the shutters are falling off and they got a tarp over the roof. And you're like, please don't let it be that house. Please don't let it be that house.
That house.
And it's always that
It's
house. And so you get this idea that maybe they can't afford anything, or maybe I'm not going to spend a lot of time with this customer.
Next call, move on, get the next call.
Or we go to that really big house on the hill.
Same deal.
Where
Yep.
you got to have the
guy let you in at the gate.
code to get in the gate, and you're like, whoa, this is a big house. I'm going to really show him a bunch of things. And neither one of those are right, because you don't know how they value their money.
You ran that. Like, that's a true story, that tall grass and the
Yeah, I did run that call.
Why don't you share that
it
one?
was for, they had no hot water. And so they sent me out there to talk to them about a water heater. And I saw that house, and I'm like, please don't let it be that one. And as I got there, sure enough, it was that one. And I go and I knock on the door, I do the Jerry wave, and a man opens up the door and he doesn't have a shirt on. And that always bugged me. I don't know if that bugs y'all, but that always bugged me. And he was like, the water heater's around the corner in the little shed. And I was like, this is going nowhere.
It's that call.
And I found out later, through a few questions and not trying to prejudge this customer, that he had just lost his wife about 6 months earlier. And because of the stress, he had to have heart surgery. And like, he was really, really sick. And that's the day I kind of learned it.
Yeah, like, I think if we're really fortunate and we meet the right people, like, if you hadn't have stuck to your system of, like, asking the question, if you'd have stayed in that mode of, like, move on, who knows? It's not about making a sale, but you wouldn't have been able to bring who you think is the best company with the best water heaters into that home.
Not only that, I wouldn't have been able to help that customer, and I'd have left him stranded with no hot water.
Yeah. So,
so what we don't want to do is we don't want to do mind reading.
No mind reading.
We don't want to think we know how they value their money or what they can afford or not afford. We just want to run the play and do our system on every call.
And they always say, like, if you don't know, you're guessing. Like, if you don't know something, you're guessing. And here's what I've learned working with incredible people over the years: professionals just don't guess. Professionals don't guess. They ask. Like the doctor, he doesn't say, "What do you make? $100 a year? Do you want physio or the MRI?" Like, we would
What kind of car
laugh at
are you driving? We're going straight to the MRI with you, buddy.
Yeah.
Right?
You look like you got good insurance. Like, that's, like, when we talk about it and other things, it's crazy. So here's the thing I learned. You have to leave the person in the truck and take the professional in the call. Like, maybe you grew up, like, we didn't have a lot of money when I was growing up, right? Like, let's get real. Like, I had head trash about money. Maybe, like, I've talked to Tex, and, like, we talk about this, and, like, yeah, when the doorbell rang, like, once a month, we'd all hide. Like, you bring that in a call with you.
You sure you do.
So you got to leave that person in the truck and take in that professional that we all know you can be. And let's make that the task of the day, right?
Hey, just throw a curveball. Let me throw Eddie a curveball, because we didn't talk about this. Listen, when you get home at night and you park that van, you want to do the opposite.
Oh.
You want to leave the professional in the
Preach.
van and take that personal life in with you, because they don't want to hear about all the things you worked out. They just want you to hug them and love them and kiss on them. And
That's why we do what we do, right?
Yep.
Yeah, well, listen, action point for the day: remove yourself and leave only professional in every conversation you have, and when you get home, be your best self, as Jerry says. All right, that's it. We're on time. So listen, thanks for coming to the Toolshed, brought to you by Schedule Engine. This episode sponsored by our incredible, gracious friends at Emerson. We'll be on Facebook talking about this all day. We'd love to hear your stories. We know you have them. If you've got any challenges, any difficult calls you want us, let's get them in the rotation. Join us next week. More stuff like this. Hundreds of people just like you learning to make their day a little bit easier here at the Tool Shed. Jerry, take it away.
Hey, thanks for joining us. Be good out there so you can do good out there. Have a great day. Thanks so much.
Peace.